So now I have one option. Time to time we keep on getting other services or some other responsibilities. So similarly we all have to prepare, right? Because this is not just for the self, but we should always have this mindset that the knowledge we are receiving, we have to practice, and at the same time, we have to share it to others for their benefit. Right? So, and this will also enhance your learning capacity and motivation to learn. If you have this mindset that no, I have to help myself and to help others, so learning process will, the speed will increase in that case. Otherwise we become very lenient, okay, let it go, like, okay, just like throughout the week we are engaged in so many other activities, and this is also one activity, a spiritual activity, once in a week we are doing this. Right? So that is okay, but if we really want to advance and we want to learn this quickly, then we should have this mindset. That let me practice all these things so that we can pass it to others. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari, 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 Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana, Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana, Yamuna Tira Varachari, Yamuna Tira Varachari, Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari, Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari, Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana, Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana, Yamuna Tira Varachari, Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe. Jaya Radha Shyam Sundar Radha Shyam Sundar Radhe. Jaya Gauranika 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 Jaya Gauranika. Gauranika Jaya Gauranika. Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Jai Prabhupada, Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Jai Prabhupada, Jai Jai Gurudev, 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 Jai Jai Gurudev, Jai Jai Gurudev, 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 Jai Jai Gurudev. Jai Vishnu Bhagavad Can you hear? Now, Vishnu Bhagavad Spirituality Spiritual Focus is also Krishna Narayana Puja. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Puja. Navacharya Shri Rashtrata Puja. Prem Support Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Radha Shivasari Lord Bhaktivinoda Puja. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopakuna Shyam Radha Giridhari Giridhari Puja. Vrindavan Dham Puja. Nandi Dham Puja. Mithura Dham Puja. Dwarka Dham Puja. Jagannath Puri Dham Puja. Gangami Devi Manana Puja. तुलसी देवी भक्ति देवी की जय संवेद भक्ति देवी की जय सभी वस्तु भक्तों की जयकार हरे कृष्ण सभी वस्तु भक्तों की जयकार हरे कृष्ण सभी वस्तु भक्तों की जयकार हरे कृष्ण श्री गुरु भगवान की जय हरे गौरव की जय हरे कृष्ण. So we call it Jai Dhvani. So Jai Dhvani means glorifying all the Vaishnava Acharyas. Mangalacharan, this is called. So before starting any of the activity, first we seek blessings of all the Vaishnava Acharyas and Krishna. Because without mercy of Guru, we cannot receive knowledge. We might receive some information, but there's a difference between information and knowledge. Information is here, but knowledge, that is there in heart. This is called realized knowledge. No? So, this study we are doing, Bhagavad Gita, this is realized knowledge. And we need mercy, blessings, without which we cannot understand Bhagavad Gita. This is not just academic, kind of any academic education, but this is, we can only receive by the mercy of Guru. So like in this second chapter, we see, like Arjuna, he was bewildered, he was not able to make decision what to do, what not to do. And then the first thing, the first step he took, that is taking shelter of Krishna, accepting Krishna as his guru, the spiritual master. Right? And the first teaching which Krishna is giving to Arjuna, that is about soul, about our real identity. Why this education he gave? If you remember, the reason Arjuna gave not to fight this battle, what was that first reason? You remember? What was the first reason Arjuna decided not to fight? Yes? That was out of compassion. He could see his guru, his grandfather, other relatives. He was not ready to fight, out of compassion, right? And that's why Krishna is giving the first knowledge that we are not this body, we are soul. And we know the difference between body is temporary, soul is eternal. So he is convincing Arjuna by giving this knowledge that All these people, they will always be there. There was never a time when I was not there, you were not there. All these different kings, they were not there. It means soul is eternal. We are eternal. We are always going to exist. Only the body is going to change. And this body is just like a dress. Right? And a sane person, intelligent person does not get bewildered just by the change of dress. His body is anyway is going to die, is going to change. So he is convincing him that don't worry about it, right? Because Pitama Bhishma, Guru Dronacharya, they will anyway die by a time. And because this is the battlefield and they are fighting, they are doing their duty, so anyway they are going to get a good body, new fresh body. So don't worry about it. Now this was the first thing, just to remove his compassion for the body, which is not true. Compassion for the body is not good, because that develops attachment to the body. And we could see so many problems in life that is simply because of attachment to the body. People are fighting in the name of country, in the name of religion, in the name of caste and creed. It is just because of the bodily conception of life. So the first thing Krishna wants Arjuna, that just come out of this bodily conception of life, understand your true self and behave, act based on that true self. And this is the most important teaching in Bhagavad Gita, we agree. Without understanding this subject matter, we won't be able to understand, or we won't be able to apply any of the message we are receiving from Bhagavad Gita. So we have to understand that we are not this body, we are soul. That is the first reason. First knowledge. And the second reason, what was that?
Will not derive any happiness.
No happiness, yes? What kind of happiness will I receive, will I get after killing my own kinsmen? If my own people are not there, what is the use of such a kingdom? He was ready to give up even the three worlds is not going to satisfy him, not going to make him happy. So this second reason, happiness, and now Krishna is giving, like in last session, verse number 31st to 37. That is about Sakha Karma. So Krishna, he said, okay, even if you talk about happiness, so what was the concluding verse, shloka, that was Ato va prapasi swargam jitva va mokshase mahim tasmat uttishta kaunteya yuddhaya kritanishchaya. So first of all, Krishna was trying to make him understand that you are a kshatriya, and being a kshatriya, you have to fight, you have to do your duty, right? And when you do your duty, that will bring happiness. If you want happiness, if you do your duty, you will be happy in both of the cases. Either you become victorious in this battlefield, then also you are going to enjoy the kingdom, the earthly kingdom, and if you die in this battlefield while performing your duty, then also, because you are a kshatriya, and if you fight in this battlefield, and if you are killed, then you will achieve heavenly planets. So in both cases, you are going to enjoy. You are going to be happy, right? So not doing duty will bring unhappiness, but doing your duty will bring happiness in both of the cases. So that's what Krishna is convincing. And also, the third point which Arjuna gave the reason, that was, what was that after happiness? Sinful reaction. If I kill them, that will incur sinful reaction, pap karma, right? And now, in this verse number 33 only, what Krishna is saying that if however you do not perform your religious duty of fighting, then you will certainly incur sins for neglecting your duties and thus lose your reputation as a fighter. What Arjuna was thinking? Arjuna was thinking that if I do not kill them, I will be saved. I will not incur sin. But what Krishna is saying, if you do not do your duty, then you will incur sin. Because being a Kshatriya, fighting against irreligion is duty of Arjuna. And if he is not doing his duty, then he is going to incur sin. Because Arjuna was thinking on bodily conception of life, on bodily platform, right? So now Krishna is giving this, making him aware that if you do not perform your duty, that is going to incur sin. And so many other things, what he said that akirti, infamy, because you are a very renowned, very famous personality, and if you do not fight, that will bring infamy to you, right? People will always speak of your infamy, and for a respectable person, dishonor is worse than death. For a Kshatriya, respectable person, dishonor is worse than death. So this will be another drawback. If you do not fight, you will gain infamy. The great generals who have highly esteemed your name and fame will think that you have left the battlefield out of fear only, and thus they will consider you insignificant. Don't think that these Dronacharya, Pitama, Bhishma or other soldiers, they will think that, okay, Arjuna left this battlefield out of compassion. No, they will think Arjuna left this out of fear. So this is another, and which is not good for a Kshatriya, right? So he is inducing, inspiring, motivating Arjuna based on this, that if you do not do your duty, then it will be sinful. And now, verse number 38 onwards, so till now, verse number 31 to 37, we see Krishna is inducing Arjuna, motivating Arjuna based on Sakha Karma. Because he was giving reason, what kind of benefit I am going to get, what kind of happiness I am going to get. So he is counteracting that particular reason, that if you do your duty, you are going to win in both of the cases. Even if you die, then also you are going to get heavenly planets. And if you win this battle, then you are going to enjoy the earthly kingdom. Now, Krishna is taking one step, taking Arjuna to the next level. Now he is going to teach him that how you can be free from sinful reactions, how you have to perform your action so that you will be free from action, right? Because we know that if you do some action, if you take some action, either it is good or bad, that brings some kind of reactions to our life. Good karmas will bring good results, bad karmas will bring bad results in our life. But now Krishna is going to teach Arjuna that how you have to act so that the karma will not incur any kind of reaction in your life, sinful reaction in your life. So verse number 38 onwards. So first teaching what he is giving, Sukh dukhi samay kritva labha labho jaya jayo tato yuddhaya yujasva naivam papam avapyasi. Do thou fight for the sake of fighting, without considering happiness or distress, loss or gain, victory or defeat, and by so doing you shall never incur sin. So this is one approach, how to act, just out of duty. Don't think about profit, loss, victory, defeat. Just do as a duty. This is called Nishkam Karma Yoga. Detached from the results. Just doing your action, your duty, prescribed duty, just out of duty. This is called Nishkam Karma Yoga. And this kind of activity will not bring any kind of sin. So that is what. So now here, Srila Prabhupada in purport, he is giving further explanation about it, that he who has completely surrendered himself in the activities of Krishna consciousness is no longer obliged to anyone, nor he is a debtor to anyone as one is in the ordinary course of activities. So any ordinary course of activities, any kind of activity we do, there is a reaction for that. But if we do activities in Krishna consciousness means by the instruction of Krishna, if we are taking action, that action will not incur any kind of reaction, sinful reaction, and not only getting the reaction, but that will liberate us. That will liberate us from this worldly responsibilities. I'll not say responsibilities, but any kind of indebtedness which is there, that like another verse which is from Srimad Bhagavatam, Devarshi Bhutapta Nrinam Pitrinam Na Kinkaro Nayam Ranicha Rajan Sarvatmanaya Sharanam Saramyam Gato Mukundam Parihishyakartum. So in this purport, what is the meaning of this? Anyone who has completely surrendered unto Krishna, Mukunda, giving up all other duties, is no longer a debtor, nor is he obliged to anyone, nor the demigods, nor the sages, nor the people in general, nor kinsmen, nor humanity, nor forefathers. That is the indirect hint given by Krishna to Arjuna in this verse, and the matter will be more clearly explained in the following verses. So the point here is that whatever action we do or we take under the direction of Krishna, right? So that will liberate us from all these different kinds of obligations. As per scripture, we are having so many obligations towards demigods, towards rishis, towards our forefathers, our relatives, and other living entities, right? We are all indebted. They are all playing different role in our life. So we are all indebted. But how can we be free from all these debts? How can we be free from this? Simply by taking shelter of Krishna. Krishna is known as Mukunda. So many times we have been discussing this example, that individually, if we try to satisfy, if we try to free from our obligations towards all these different things, persons, it's not possible for us. It's just like watering the root. Accepting Krishna means watering the root. The moment we take shelter of Krishna, Mukunda, the deliverer, one who delivers us. So the moment we take shelter of Krishna means all the obligations are done. Right? So this is what here it is. The point is that any action we do in Krishna consciousness, that action will not bring any kind of sinful reaction, because that is anyway not sin, that is transcendental activity, and it will liberate us from all different kinds of obligations. That is the point. Verse number 39. Esha te bhita sankhye buddhir yoge primam shino buddhaya yukto yaya partha karma bandham prahasyasi. Thus far, I have described this knowledge to you through analytical study. Now what Krishna is saying, as of now, whatever knowledge he is giving based on like all this, he is doing analytical study, body, soul, right? Now listen as I explain it in terms of working without fruiting results. O son of Pritha, when you act in such knowledge, you can free yourself from the bondage of works. Bondage of works. Nishkam Karma Yoga. Right. So verse number 38, he is giving one approach how to act without considering about profit and loss. Just do your prescribed duty. And now he is just going to further explain that how to do this. How to do Nishkam Karma Yoga. And what are the different characteristics? What are the different benefits? Till verse number 53, we will study these things. So here, if you see a word which is being used, that is Buddhir Yoga, Buddhi Yoga. What is this Buddhi Yoga? What is Buddhi Yoga? Sankhya Yoga, Buddhi Yoga. These are different terms which you see in this purport. So just to make it very clear, very simple. So Buddhi Yoga, Nishkam Karma Yoga, these are all similar. If you see the objective, that is same, similar. So let's not be confused here. Sankhya Yoga, which is Prabhupada is explaining the purport. Sankhya means analytical study. Like in verse number 13 onwards till 38, like we were studying about body and soul. So this is called analytical study about body and soul. Like different elements. We know body is made up of different elements. Right? Earth, water, fire, air, ether. So when we do some kind of analytical study, going deeper into details, different elements we study. And what is the purpose of understanding these different elements? What is the objective? Why we are trying to understand body, soul, and different elements of body, different elements of soul, understanding the nature of body and soul? Why we are doing this analytical study? What is the objective? What is the objective? Yes? Why we are doing this? Just to understand the reality, the true self, that soul is eternal, right? And what is the use of understanding that soul is eternal? Soul is part and parcel of God. After knowing this, what is the use? Why?
Because it's true that will set us free.
Simply knowing?
The realization of
Yes, very good. Realization means acting on that platform. Right? So Sankhya Yoga, Sankhya means doing analytical study, and the purpose of his study is to come to know the real, our true self, and be having with that understanding, taking action, or whatever we are doing on that platform. That is the purpose of Sankhya Yoga. So that's why in 5th chapter you will see, like in purport, I'm just reading the highlights. So, and Krishna is saying also that only the less intelligent class of men make a distinction between Sankhya Yoga and Bhakti Yoga. So this is in chapter 5. We will study about Sankhya Yoga, Prathak Bala, Pravadantina Pandita. So one who is intelligent, one who is not intelligent will make difference. Sankhya Yoga is different, Bhakti Yoga is different. But if you see intelligent person, means one who understands the purpose behind that. So if you see Sankhya Yoga, analytical study of body and soul, ultimately it will lead you to devotion. Ultimately, after knowing that we are this body, we are not this body, we are soul, we are part and parcel of Krishna. So after knowing this, our action will be, we will take shelter of Krishna. We will do bhakti of Krishna. That is what Krishna is saying. Vasudeva sarvamiti samahatma sudurlabha. Simply by knowing that Krishna is great, what is the use of that? How much Krishna is great, and when we take shelter, and Prabhupada is mentioning also that, if somebody comes in contact with devotee, he accepts Krishna. He engages himself in devotional service. So Buddhi Yoga or Sankhya Yoga, the purpose is taking shelter of Krishna, ultimately. And also Prabhupada is talking about impostor Sankhya or impostor Kapila. There are two Kapila. Lord Kapila, one is the son of Mother Devahuti. So when you go through Srimad Bhagavatam, you will understand, like Lord Kapila is incarnation of Lord Krishna himself. And he appeared as the son of Mother Devahuti. And Srimad Bhagavatam 3rd canto, you will see Lord Kapila is educating, instructing his mother Devahuti. Right? And he is giving the knowledge of Sankhya Yoga. And ultimately that is leading towards devotional service to the Lord. So this is original Lord Kapila, and there were one impostor, atheistic Kapila, and most of the people they quote from there, and and that is atheistic approach, totally different, not accepting God. Just like in previous classes we were discussing, like the modern people, what they think, the body is simply a combination of chemical composition. There is no existence of soul. This is atheistic approach. But when we say theistic approach, what Lord Kapila is giving or what Bhagavad Gita is giving, that body is temporary, soul is eternal. So this is the knowledge. So here Prabhupada is giving detailed description about these two kinds of theories. So finally, coming to the point that Karma Yoga, Nishkam Karma Yoga, Buddhi Yoga or Bhakti Yoga, if you see the objective, the purpose is same. So ultimately, it is Bhakti, yani Krishna conscious devotional service. So that kind of activity which is dedicated to Krishna, which is devotional, that will not incur any kind of reaction in our life. Right? Because Buddhi Yoga is therefore transcendental quality of work that we perform. So this kind of action in Krishna consciousness is transcendental. It does not come under the three modes of material nature. That is the point we have to understand. So we are free from reactions. And not only free from reactions, but whatever reactions, action and reaction due to our previous sinful actions, that will also burn into ashes. So that is the beauty of Krishna consciousness. Because now we are receiving this knowledge, and somebody may ask, what about all those previous sinful reactions? Knowingly and unknowingly we committed so many sinful activities. What about those? So the Krishna conscious action or action in Krishna consciousness is such a purifying, such a powerful, that it will just burn all those different reactions, even previous reactions we will burn. And we will start a new, fresh account. The moment we take shelter of Krishna, Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita, Sarva dharman parityaja mamekam sharanam vraja. Simply you take shelter, my shelter, and you will be delivered from all sinful reactions. He is promising Arjuna. So the moment we take shelter of Krishna, we are free from all previous sins. Right? Again, there are different stages, different levels, but the point here is when we take shelter, when we accept Bhakti Yoga, we are free from sinful reactions. And further, whatever activities we do in Krishna consciousness, that is going to liberate us, deliver us from this material planet. And next shloka, the characteristics. What is Bhakti Yoga? What is the characteristics of that? So very important shloka. Many times we have even quoted this. Verse number 40. Neha vikramana sosti pratavayo na vidyate swalpam api asya dharmasya trayate mahato bhaya. You can repeat after me. This is very famous. Neha vikramana sosti pratyavayo na vidyate swalpam api asya dharmasya trayate mahato bhaya. In this endeavor, there is no loss or diminution, and a little advancement on this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear. So we'll read the purport also. Activity in Krishna consciousness or acting for the benefit of Krishna without expectation of sense gratification is the highest transcendental quality of work. Even a small beginning of such activity finds no impediment, nor can that small beginning be lost at any stage. Any work begun on the material plane has to be completed, otherwise the whole attempt becomes a failure. Getting this point? So anything we do in Krishna consciousness, that is eternal, that is permanent. And anything we do on material platform, that is temporary. So here it is mentioned that, like in material world, I give you example many times, maybe like if you're preparing for medical, maybe you want to become doctor, and now you are in 4th year, and somehow you could not complete that education. And now you are in next life. So can you claim, I had already completed 4th year, now I'll take direct admission in 5th year. Can you claim for that? No. Because in material world, whatever, if we could not complete 100%, then that is again 0. Coming back to 0, start again, A, B, C, D, and then again admission further, right? But it doesn't happen in the spiritual world. That's what it is mentioned, that 1% done in Krishna consciousness bears permanent result. So that the next beginning is from the point of 2%, whereas in material activity, without 100% excess, there is no profit. So that is the beauty of Bhakti Yoga. So activity in Krishna consciousness, 1%, 2%, 5%, 10%, whatever achievement we have in this lifetime, and somehow if we could not complete the journey, then that is not going to, that we are not going to lose that. Whatever we have achieved, that is going to be there with us permanently. And in next life, we will continue our journey from there itself. This is one characteristics of Bhakti Yoga. Also, the word which is we will discuss about sense gratification. What is your understanding about sense gratification? So, even in previous verse, the detailed purport, if you see, Prabhupada is explaining about sense gratification. Let's discuss a little bit about this. What does it mean, sense gratification? Two kinds of activities we are talking about right now. Let's make it very clear. Krishna conscious activities and one activity which is not Krishna conscious means for sense gratification. What does it mean, sense gratification?
Fulfilling the role of those five senses which
Very good.
guide us with worldly pleasure.
Yes, very nice. So let me introduce, anyway we'll discuss about, she is doing PhD in Bhagavad Gita and from Kurukshetra University. Yes. So yes, very nice understanding. So sense gratification, we know different kinds of senses are there, right? Eyes, ear, nose, tongue, these are different senses. And different objects are there to enjoy, to satisfy these senses. Eyes wants to see something beautiful, right? Some attraction is there. Ear, they want to hear something, some good music, just to satisfy. No, then the ear will be satisfied. Similarly, we have tongue. So we can satisfy tongue by so many tasty foods, right? So these senses are there and different sense objects are there. So when we are trying to satisfy our senses, this is called sense gratification, enjoying the senses, right? And here it is, we are trying to understand sense gratification, one concept which is there. Because in this material world, people think that as much sense gratification you do, that much enjoyment you will receive. But as for Bhagavad Gita, this is wrong. Sense gratification is not the source of happiness. Yehi samsparshaja bhoga dukha yonaya evate. Krishna is saying in 5th chapter, that sense gratification is source of misery. This is the root cause of misery. Dukha yonaya evate. Adyant vanta kaunteya. Adyant, adi ant. Means the enjoyment on sensory perception or enjoyment we receive through senses. What is the nature of that enjoyment? What is the nature of that happiness? Adi ant. There is a beginning, there is an end. It's not eternal, it's not permanent. There will be a beginning and that will end. Na teshu ramate buddha. Krishna is saying that's why intelligent people, they do not participate in such kind of happiness. Because this is just illusory, temporary sense perception. We feel like we are enjoying. And there is an example given in Srimad Bhagavatam, just like a camel. Camel, you know about camel? What does it? What is the food of camel? Camel, thorny bush. Camel eats thorny bushes. Cutting. There's no juice in that. There's no juice. But when camel eats those thorny bush, and because of that, because the thorns are there, and the camel's, the blood is coming out of his mouth, and now the camel is enjoying that blood, feeling that these thorns are very tasty, so sweet, so tasty. Enjoying your own blood. There's no juice in thorns, in bushes, but camel, out of illusion, is under impression that what I'm eating is very juicy, is very tasty. Similarly, in material world, in matters, there is no happiness, but we out of illusion just try to convince ourselves that I'm feeling happy. Otherwise, that happiness is not there in objects, right? But we feel, okay, if I have a big car, if I have a big flat, if I have a big facility, then I will be happy. And we keep on chasing for that happiness. But that happiness never comes. One after another, we look for something else. So this is fleeting. This is not eternal happiness. This is temporary happiness, right? So, sense gratification is source of misery. That is one point which is Krishna is mentioning here. So, and this kind of activity will bring sinful reaction in life. And the point here, what we are trying to understand, that Nishkam Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Sankhya Yoga or Bhakti Yoga, ultimate purpose is to get free from all the reactions, right? And one example was given over here, Prabhupada is giving. Ajamila performed his duty in some percentage of Krishna consciousness, but the result he enjoyed at the end was 100% by the grace of the Lord. So we will discuss about it, but before that, like when we are talking about happiness, so one concept we got, that sense perception or material happiness is temporary, is spiritual. So another level of happiness is a spiritual happiness or a spiritual activity. So one is for the sense gratification, for the personal sense enjoyment. This is called sense gratification or material activity. And what is the spiritual activity? When we do it for the pleasure of Krishna. When we do any activity to satisfy the senses of Krishna, that is bhakti. And that is a spiritual activity. That activity is free from the three modes of material nature. That will not incur any kind of bondage. That will liberate us from this material bondage, material binding, right? So this should be very much clear. Now, again, when we talk about material happiness, Prabhupada is explaining that there are different stages of material happiness. Extended happiness. Sometimes we may think that, no, I am not working for myself. I am very much detached. I am not working for satisfying my senses. I am just working for my family, I am working for my society, I am working for my country. And Prabhupada is mentioning, this is again sense gratification. This is extended sense gratification. So let's understand this also. Because people have misconceptions. Sometimes people say, no, I am not working for myself. I am so detached. I am so, doing so many welfare activities. I am working for society, I am working for country. But this is again bodily concept of life. My country, my nation, my society. I and mine means bodily concept of life. And this conception is extended version of sense gratification. Now maybe directly I am not enjoying my senses, but indirectly I am enjoying my senses. If I see my family members, they are happy, I feel happy. This is a bit deeper. Let's not get confused. But the point is, there is a difference between Krishna conscious activity and all these different kinds of social activity. It doesn't mean that we don't have to do social activity, we don't have to take care of family. But we are trying to understand the concept. If Krishna is not there in center, then that is again material activity. That is again sense gratification. And we know that sense gratification is temporary, and sense gratification will get us into sinful activities, and sinful activities will bring sinful reactions in our life. Right? So one example here, a beautiful story which is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam, you might have heard, Ajamila. Have you heard this name? There is a story of Ajamila. We will discuss this story, and because I had decided to cover more shlokas, but then I had a word with Shrita Mataji, and finally we need not to rush, because many times we go through many shlokas and we miss or some important point we are not able to discuss in detail. So today we will clear this concept. So with this example of Ajamila, so he was a, let's get into the story part. So Ajamila, he was very pious. He was born in a Brahmin family, very pious, and he was knower of the Vedas because he was a Brahminical family. So he studied all the Vedic scriptures, very knowledgeable, very much engaged in different kinds of services, spiritual practices. He had a beautiful wife, very chaste, very dedicated wife. He was very obedient to his father. Whatever his father was saying, he was always following that. Right? So every day, every morning, he was doing his different activities, rituals, whatever was there. Very pious. So one day, by the order of his father, he went to jungle just to bring some kusha grass and other paraphernalia for performing yajna. So every day he used to go there. And one day when he was coming back, taking all those different paraphernalia for yajna, on the way he could see a prostitute. She was intoxicated, and a Shudra, and a low-born man. The man and this prostitute, they were just embracing each other. Both of them were very intoxicated. They were embracing each other, kissing each other, and somehow this Ajamila, he could see them. And just by seeing, he got infatuated with that thought. He started contemplating, thinking, though he was trying his hard, because he was knowing the spiritual injunctions. He was trying his hard. No, I should not think like that. No, I should not desire like that. This is sinful. And he came back from there. But again, and we will discuss about this in detail, like in this chapter only, there are two very powerful shloka, verse number 62 and 63. How somebody is degraded. Dhyayato vishaya pumsa sangaste sumajayate sangas samjayate kama kamas krodha vijayate. How does degradation take place? Simply, dhyayato, simply by seeing. Sometimes we feel like, oh, what is the use? If we are seeing something bad, no, I'm very much controlled. Nothing will happen to me. But big personalities, we see in scriptures examples. This is the beginning. This is the beginning. What we hear, what we see, what we speak, that plays a very, very important role in our life. That is the beginning. So, dhyayato vishayan pumsa. So, the moment he saw the prostitute and the man embracing each other, kissing each other, he started contemplating on that. And what is the next step? What happens next? When you contemplate on something, you develop attachment to get that thing. Right? We will discuss in detail about those two slokas, but here the point is simply by seeing that scene, he started contemplating on that, and he developed a great desire to enjoy that prostitute. And finally, he got that prostitute as a maidservant. He left his chaste wife because the prostitute, now she wanted to enjoy. She said, okay, if you want to enjoy me, then fulfill my desires. And just to fulfill her desire, he started expending all his money. Whatever money he got from his father, property, everything, he started just investing or engaging in that sense gratification. And finally, he left his wife, his father, everything. And with this prostitute, he begot 10 children. And at the age of 80, when he was 80 years old, again, his desire for sense gratification was too much. But now, because he could not fulfill the desire of the prostitute, she also left. Because all the money was gone, and just to maintain his family, he got engaged in sinful activities, robbing others, threatening others. Because this is what the nature of sense gratification. If somebody is too much attached in sense gratification, the person will definitely get engaged in sinful reactions, sinful activities. Somehow or other, the person will try to fulfill that desire. And Ajamila was doing the same thing. He lost everything. by the grace, because he had done some devotional service in the beginning of his life, and because of that, because of some saintly association, the last child, the youngest child, he named Narayan. The last child, the name of his last child was Narayan. And he was very much attached with that child, always thinking, always just remembering that child. Wherever he was going, he was carrying that child. Whenever he was eating, he was always asking, he was feeding first to the child. This is very natural, right? The youngest child, we have lots of affection, attachment. He was very much attached, always caring, where is Narayan, where is... So this way, he was calling out his name, Narayan. Right? One day, Yamdutas means the messenger of the Yamraj, because now time was over, and Yamduta, very ferocious. If you go through, this is, sometime we will discuss about it, a beautiful description in Srimad Bhagavatam, how the Yamdutas, they came just to take the life of Ajamila. They were snatching the soul from his body. And as we know that, when the soul leaves the body, it is very painful. It's not easy. 42,000 scorpions biting at the same time, the same kind of pain we get when the soul is getting out of body. It's very painful, because the Yamdutas, they come personally to snatch that living entity from the body and take it to the Yamloka. Different kinds of hellish planets are there. Not only one, almost 28 kinds of hellish planets. So different kinds of sinful activities we do, we are supposed to get punished in different kinds of hellish planets, and very, very severe pain, very, very severe punishment. Right? So sometimes people think like, oh no, this is just to make some fear, so that people should follow the instruction of the scriptures. These are the true things. These are the reality. Right? So very, very painful situation. Huge punishment is there. So he was just, Yamdutas, they were just snatching the soul from his body, and he was crying. And in that crying mood, because he was very much attached to his youngest son, and he just loudly cried out, Narayan. He didn't call the name of God. He was not calling God for his protection. Simply he called the name of his son, Narayan, and immediately Vishnu Dutas, they appeared. Vishnu Dutas in a beautiful form, four-handed lotus form, means effulgent body, they appeared, and they just stopped those Yamdutas. And Yamduta, then there is a beautiful description. Yamdutas, they are asking Vishnu Dutas, who are you? You are looking like coming from celestial planets. Your body is so beautiful. And why you are stopping us? We are the messenger of Yamraj, and this is our duty, and it never happened. Nobody stopped us doing our religious activities. And why you are stopping us? So then Vishnu Duta, they inquired from Yamdutas. They asked that, what is your duty? If you are the follower of the Yamraj, Yamraj is Dharmaraj, right? So you must know what is religion. You must know whom to punish, whom to not punish. So can you tell me what is your who should be punished? Then the Yamdutas, they are giving a big explanation that anybody who is engaged in sinful activities, they are supposed to be punished. And then they explain the whole life of Ajamila, that how he got degraded and he was engaged in so many sinful activities, and because of that we are taking him to Yamloka. He will be severely punished over there, and then he will get free from reactions. So this is the law. And this description, if you see Srimad Bhagavatam, like after hearing the details about hellish planets, Parikshit Maharaj, because he is a devotee, he was concerned about others. He started asking Shukdev Goswami, can you give me some ways, or can you tell me some ways how these people can be free from all these reactions? Because hellish planet, when they are suffering a lot. So Parikshit Maharaj was concerned about others. He said, how they can be free from? So Shukdev Goswami, he said, there is an atonement process. If we do some kind of sinful activity, then we can be free by doing some kind of atonement, prayashchit. So there are many activities which is mentioned in Vedic scriptures. For particular sinful action, we can do a particular atonement process and we can be free from that. But Parikshit Maharaj, what he is saying, but what is the use of such atonement? It is just like an elephant taking bath in the river, coming out again on the ground and again putting mud on his body. What is the use of such kind of atonement? Again doing the same activity, just like Prabhupada gave an example, like in Christianity. Not to blame to Christianity, but people in practice, Monday to Friday they do sinful activities, and Sunday they go to the church and give some donation, and the padri, they just release them from all sinful reactions. And again, once they come back, they start again the same activity. So what is the use of such kind of atonement? And Shukdev Goswami said, yes, you are correct. There is no use of such atonement. Ultimately, we are doing some kind of good, pious activities, sometimes again, same activities. So he said, what is the best atonement? What is the best atonement? And Shukdev Goswami said, devotional service is the best atonement. Taking shelter of Krishna is the best atonement. Because any other kind of atonement, any kind of prayashchit, that is simply liberating you from that sinful reaction, but the tendency to do that sinful activity is still there. That impression within your heart is still there, right? Because we see Ajamila, he was a very nice person. Because of his previous life activities, he had that impression to enjoy senses. And when we have some impression, and the moment we get the opportunity, that impression fructifies into desire, and we execute that desire, right? So, understand this. Whatever activity we do, not only we are getting the reaction of that activity, but we also develop an impression within our heart. That impression is deep down. It's just like a weed. Sometimes we cut the weed, like in gardening we see. We have so many flower plants and so many other weeds coming out of it. What we do? We cut the weed, but the root is very strong. The root is there. So these impressions, that is the root. That is there. That enjoying tendency, that mentality is there. And the moment we come into that kind of atmosphere, we again develop that desire and we again take that action. But bhakti means when we take shelter of Krishna, not only the seed is being burned, but that desire, that impression. I'll not say seed, because seed is that fructifying element. So not only you are getting free from the reaction of that particular action, but the desired seed is also getting burned into ashes. So if you have some boiled seed, when you show it, will you get any plant from them? You will not get it. So bhakti has that power. It burns all the material sense enjoyment, that desire, into ashes. It purifies completely. If we want complete purification, because in any other yoga process, you get some kind of siddhi, you get some kind of power, you get some kind of opulence, and that is again develops a kind of attachment. But bhakti means you lose that desire to enjoy separately from Krishna. It's not that devotees doesn't enjoy. We have enjoyment. The only difference in material enjoyment and enjoyment in Krishna consciousness is that we enjoy with Krishna. And material people, they they suffer. Because as I give you the example, it's illusion. We think we are enjoying. That's illusion. That is not the real enjoyment. That is again creating suffering. That is again creating bondage. Right? But the real enjoyment is with Krishna. Because that enjoyment will liberate us. Liberate us from all karmic reactions. So that is what. So Ajamila, simply by chanting the name of Narayan, Vishnuduta now explained when Yamduta told him that no, he did all these sorts of sinful activities, and because of that he is getting punished. So now Vishnuduta is speaking. What they are saying, you don't know about it. Simply by chanting the name of the Lord, and so much of glorification about the holy name is there. Simply by chanting the name, one is liberated from the sinful reactions. Even a person cannot imagine or cannot do sinful activities throughout his life. Simply by chanting the name of the Lord one time, he can be liberated from all the sinful reactions. And further, so many detailed, this glorifying the holy name. And if we see, like we do chanting, right? And we will do that today. So chanting the name, it liberates us from all sinful reactions. But again, just to make you aware, now it doesn't mean that we got the solution. Now we can free ourselves from the all sinful reactions simply by chanting. So throughout the day, throughout the week, let us engage in all sorts of activities, sinful activities, and one day we will chant and we will free. So no, this is another offense. This will bring further more dangerous sinful reactions. So we don't have to use this mean just to nullify our sinful reactions. So but of course, chanting the name, like simply by chanting the name Narayan, even without intention, he got delivered immediately. Vishnudutas protected Ajamila, and Ajamila, he was observing everything, and immediately when he came into his consciousness, and immediately Vishnudutas after saving him, just they left the place and he started searching. He started looking for those Vishnudutas, because still the journey was not complete, but he got the understanding that what kind of life I was leading, and what is the purpose of my life, how I forgot about my purpose. I was engaged in devotional service, but due to this sense gratification, due to this material attachment, I forgot the ultimate objective of my life. I got into so many other different activities, sinful activities. Now I understood that this is the prime duty of my life. And now I got what I have to do, chanting the holy name of the Lord. And then after he took the shelter of the Lord by chanting the holy name, he went to Haridwar and Ajamila. He practiced devotional service, and then he went back home, back to Godhead. So beautiful pastime. This is just giving us an understanding that life, the purpose of life is to get home, back to Godhead. This is our spiritual journey. Somehow are in this material world, and on this spiritual path, so many distractions will be there. So many material attachments will be there. In further shlokas, next section, we will discuss about one who is like this Vyavasayatmika Buddhi. Next time we will discuss about it. So one who is in Krishna consciousness, one who knows the goal of life, purpose of life is resolute in consciousness. What is that word? Resolute in purpose, fixed consciousness, or the best intelligence, which is very much means, intelligence means one who is very much clear with the purpose, with the goal of life, and whatever activities he is doing to achieve or keeping that goal in mind. If we simply keep on doing things, if you are not clear with the goal and objective of life, what is the use? So we are in a spiritual journey. Using this body, we have to take the soul to the final destination, back home, back to Godhead. Right? So we have to do all those activities which is favorable to achieve that goal. Even sometimes, due to any reason, if some deviations are there, just like we use GPS, no? So you just mentioned, if you just fix to your destination, in GPS what happens? You have just set your destination, and even if you are getting deviated to some other route, but finally you will reach to your destination. So similarly, we have to be in association of devotees, and material things will allure us, will distract us, will drag us. But if we are in association of devotees, and if we keep on chanting the holy name of the Lord, then this true activity will bring us again back to our track. And definitely, by the mercy of Guru, by the mercy of Acharyas, if we simply follow this process, simply taking shelter of Krishna by chanting the name of Krishna, and being in association of devotees, hearing the words of God, words of Krishna, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, for sure we will achieve perfection in life. For sure we will go home back to God without fail, because this is the promise Krishna is doing. Name bhaktya prakshati. O Arjuna, just declare it that my devotees never perishes. So if we really want to become victorious, we want to achieve the perfection of life, then a simple process, let's take shelter by chanting the holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So we'll take this mala, we will do one round of chanting with this prayer, with this mood. Yes, my Lord, I forgot you. I have been, for so many lifetimes, I have been away from you and trying to enjoy separate from you. Now I got to know about the real purpose of life. So please accept me and let me serve you. This is the mood we should have while chanting. So I believe you all know the process. So I will just tell you how to do that. So there are 108 beads. If you this one is including this 109, we don't use this one, thread one. So the next to the thread, just hold this bead, and after me you can chant Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda. So holding this bead only, we will start chanting Mahamantra. That is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And moving to the next bead, on every bead, one time Mahamantra. And this way we will come to this point. So 108 times we will chant this holy name. And as I told you the mood, let's have this prayerful mood. And the process is simply chanting and hearing. So this should go on. Chant and hear. Doesn't bother about your mind, where your mind is going. I mean, not at all think about that. Just ignore the mind. Simply chant, hear. So we will start from here. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. One more thing. One more thing you will add. Hare Krishna, please. So while chanting, anyway, I was stopping you in between. Few techniques, few things which I'll share with you, like which will help you to focus more upon it. Like one is grateful, being grateful to the Lord. So by chanting we can have this mood. So Lord is so merciful, so grateful. I don't have any qualification. I don't deserve, right? And really it's not just to teach your mind. If we are able to chant the holy name as per Vishnu Puran, somebody who has done devotional service in previous life to Lord Vishnu, only he can chant. Chanting the name is not easy. So have this grateful mood. And also another thing is understanding the urgency, right? Urgency, that I don't know when will I get this opportunity to chant the holy name, right? And we could see this story just by chanting one name simply, and that name was not like it was crying with heart. So when we chant the holy name, it should be, Srila Prabhupada say that chanting the holy name is like a baby crying for its mother, right? So it should be in that mood. My Lord, please accept me. So these things will help you to chant more sincerely. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So when we come here, this last beat, before this third one, so this is 108 times we have chanted this Mahamantra. And if we want to continue next round of chanting, then we have to start from this beat only, where we end. So we can just change the side, and from this beat only we can again chant Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya, right? And then Mahamantra, we can start from here. So this one round of chanting is called one mala japa, right? So, like we see in this story, that unknowingly chanting the name of the Lord delivered Ajamila from all his sinful reactions. And now just imagine, we are deliberately chanting the name of the Lord, right? And again, this is, in Kali Yuga, it is a great austerity. Initially, we may not like it to do, or we may not be able to chant the name. We may not, so doesn't bother about it, doesn't matter. Even you like it or you don't like it. This is the beginning of our spiritual life, taking shelter of Krishna, right? So just for the pleasure of Krishna, that my Lord, just we can feel grateful, my Lord, you have given me everything, you have given me so much of facility, this nice, body, and let me utilize, I just want to utilize that, have this sincere desire, and just for the pleasure of Krishna, my Lord, I am chanting for your pleasure. Doesn't matter, I like it or don't like it, but I know you will be happy when I chant your name.
So for His pleasure, every day, let's chant this name. So whichever time, we will discuss further in detail about chanting, but there is no rules and regulations. Anytime you can chant, but the morning is best time. So every morning, we can start our day with chanting the holy name. Throughout the day, we will be spiritually protected. We will discuss further about the chanting, how we can make it more meditative, more focused, and we can then have really realization with it. Everything will reveal this chanting the holy name of Lord. So please do it. I hope you are doing on a regular basis. If not, have started, do it. 2 announcements. If you really want to, because when we are in association, practice becomes easy. So we are planning one maybe morning for 15 minutes we can connect online. So wherever you are, we will fix up some time in the morning so we all together can sit down and chant. So a small practice, right? One mala chanting we will do in association of devotees, and gradually you will be here sharing your realizations. Ready for this? So Shita Mataji, we can decide some time in the morning, whichever you are comfortable. If not too early. Yes. I think if you're comfortable, maybe 6:30 or 6:45 till 7 o'clock. Whatever you feel comfortable. I'm not asking you to wake up very early in the morning, though it is good. If you wake up 5, 4 o'clock, 4:30, 5 o'clock, that is good, but don't just jump into, because based on your psychophysical nature and the habits, gradually we will develop those good habits. But as of now, let's keep it maybe 6:30, we can start for 10 minutes or 15 minutes we can join. So within 15 minutes, we will do one round chanting, and we will hear just 2-3 minutes about the glories of the chanting the name of the Lord. So that will keep us motivated, energized to chant the holy name. That is one thing. And second announcement, now because we are a family, this much we have, so we decided that we will celebrate your special days here, your birthday, anniversary, so special days, and let's celebrate with Krishna. Every celebration here is with Krishna. So you can give your birthday, anniversary dates. So even children are there, you can mention their birthdays. So we can celebrate here. We will do cake cutting and we'll celebrate with Krishna. Okay, so thank you so much. I think question answer, time is up. But in case you have any question regarding today's session, we can take. Otherwise we will conclude and go to the next. Yes, thank you so much. So let's do Aarti and then Namaste Narasimhaya, Namaste Narasimhaya, Prahlada Lada Daine, Prahlada Daine, Hiranyakashi Purvakshaha, Hiranyakashi Purvakshaha, Shilatam Khanakadare, Do Nrsimha Parato Nrsimha, Yato Yato Yamitato Nrsimha, Vahir Nrsimha, Hridaye Nrsimha, Nrsimha Mari, Sharanam Prapade, Tavakara Kamala Bhare Naka, Adbhuta Shingam Dalita, Hiranyakashipu, Anubinga, Deshavadripa, Narahari Rupa, Jagadisha Hare, Jagadisha Hare, Jai Jagadisha Hare, Prabhupada, 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 Jai Jai Prabhupada, Jai Jai Gurudev, 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 Jai Jai Gurudev. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nashim Bhagwan ki jai, Bhakti Prahlad Maharaj ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.